Hello, everyone, and welcome to OurVentura TV. I'm Sandra Siepak. On today's show, we're welcoming Meredith Hart. She is the Safe and Clean Program Manager for the City of Ventura. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
No, thank you for having me.
Great. I'd like you to tell us more about the City of Ventura's Safe and Clean Initiative program and how you and your team are helping address homelessness here in the area.
Sure. So the Safe and Clean initiative focuses on three things, and that's conditions, uses, and behaviors in public spaces.
Okay.
The conditions are the public spaces and parks clean? Do people want to hang out in them? Uses, are people recreating the way that they want to? And behaviors, are people behaving? Are they, there's no drug use in the parks, there's no alcohol, there's no aggressive behavior. And that's for everybody, whether they are unhoused or housed, that we all have to behave in our public spaces.
Yes.
So within the Safe and Clean initiative, we have multi-departments that focus on homelessness. And we have the Patrol Task Force with the police department. And those are our homeless resource officers that focus on not only upholding the laws, but offering services to those in need. We have the Safe and Clean team, which are 4 individuals who go out and clean debris throughout the city. We have Public Works, who help with the environmental cleanup and mitigation issues. And then we have me at the Safe and Clean Program Manager in the city's city manager's office. And I focus on bringing creative and new initiatives to the city, as well as manage our current contracts like the Art Shelter or River Haven and the Safety Program.
Okay, good. I know that, the housing is an issue. And of course, is the city doing something about the unhoused population? And are they being offered COVID-19 vaccines at this time? And hopefully, what can be done to limit the spread of COVID-19 as well as other diseases too?
Right. Oh, yeah. So right now, our homeless population this week, a program is going in earnest and vaccinating them with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Good.
And that's through Healthcare with the Homeless and One Stop, which are county programs.
Okay.
So on Monday, we went into the River Bottoms Camp to Camp offering the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And then today, there's even an effort happening in downtown Ventura. And the goal is really to get the vaccines to the individuals rather than having them have to search it out. And thankfully, we do have the 1-dose vaccine, so we don't have to worry about the follow-up. And so what's really great with the partnerships that we have, especially with Backpack Medicine, that is where doctors, nurses, behavioral health, city officials, county officials, we all go down into the River Bottoms, camp to camp. And that's when they're offered medical care as well as behavioral health care and connections to get out of homelessness. They can get vaccinated for hepatitis. They can get vaccinated for the flu, as well as just get wound care and care for things that might have become a 911 call or maybe have to go to the hospital. They now get help where they are, and that saves our taxpayer money. Okay. And that is one of the reasons why you don't see the communicable diseases throughout our homeless population like you do in some of our neighboring counties, because we're out there proactively working and engaging every month to make sure the population stays healthy.
Well, that's very good to hear. That's great. Your Safe and Clean team works very closely, as we talked earlier about the Ventura Police and also County Behavioral Health. So tell us about that and all that you provide to support the homeless.
Sure. So really the strength and success of everything we do is because of those partnerships.
Yes.
And we have quite a few that I could go on forever, but I'll highlight just a few of my favorites. So there's Community Intervention Court. And so that is where the public defender, the city attorney, the police department, all the county social services, downtown Ventura partners, our nonprofits, everybody you could think of that helps with our unsheltered population come together. And we talk about our individuals who are the most chronic and the most service resistant, and try to come up with a game plan so that when they do decide that they are willing to accept support, we have something that the machine can work quickly and we can get them the care they need. And through CIC, that is also a way where individuals, they build up these municipal code violations. And we try to use that as incentive that if they go to detox, if they go to rehab, if they get into a shelter and they're successful in that program, then those violations can be removed. So it's a really cool, unique program we have here in the city of Ventura, and I love talking about it. We also have an outreach partnership, and that's with the county. And consistent engagement is really what gets individuals to trust the system and get out of homelessness. So we have two with our partnership with the county that are out there proactively engaging, which is really exciting. We also have Project Roomkey, and that's through the state and the county in a response to COVID, where those who are 65 and older and or with chronic health conditions can get into local motels. And that's where every social service provider is reaching out, connecting with homeless and referring them into that program.
Okay. Very good to hear. Why can't the homeless just be removed from many of these public places, parks and the riverbed? And if the city did remove them, what are some of the constraints that the city faces for doing such a thing?
Sure. That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. We'll start with the parks. So
Okay.
parks are public spaces. They are available for everybody to hang out and recreate in.
Okay.
However, we do have an ordinance where our parks close at dusk. So that means when it's dark, nobody can be in the parks. No one can be playing and nobody can be camping. And that is enforceable. So, but what we are constrained by is there is a Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals case called Martin versus Boise.
Okay.
And that found it to be unconstitutional to cite an individual for camping on public property if there is not an appropriate shelter bed for them to go. So the city of Ventura has 386 unsheltered as of our last count. So we don't have 386 places for individuals to go. Yeah. So because of that, we cannot remove individuals who are in certain public spaces that don't have ordinances like our parks that close at dark. So that's like our river bottoms.
Okay.
And that case did go to the Supreme Court. There was a petition to ask to get a little bit more clarification on the ruling, and the Supreme Court denied that. So we are bound by Martin versus Boise. This is law. Okay. And so when you see other cities and you see people camping in medians and you see people camping on sidewalks, that is essentially because of this. Now, because the city has a manageable number of individuals and our programs are working to keep our numbers at a somewhat stasis kind of level, we are able to kind of come up with some proactive solutions, and we need to continue doing so in order to decrease the numbers and help people have a shorter stay in homelessness. Okay. Our other constraints, we're the county seat. So we have the hospital, the mental health hospital, as well as a jail. So people come to Ventura in crisis and they don't always leave. And then larger issues is we have a real deficit in drug rehab beds, especially for those who are extremely low income. So say for men on Medicaid, there are 3 beds in Tarzana that we can use, and we share them. So it's not like we have those available right away. So that makes it really difficult when somebody is ready to make a change in their life. We don't always have places for them to go. And then the mental health issues, of course, we always need more beds. And the threshold to get care for an individual is very high. Gravely disabled means that you have to have a plan to kill yourself or a plan to hurt somebody else. And so that's why when individuals, and it breaks our heart, you see someone on the street decompensating, and homeless or not, just someone talking to themselves, and you wonder what's going on. Well, it's because they're not willing yet to accept care. Okay. So what we do is we just proactively try to come up with solutions, engage. And so when they're ready, we can help.
Okay, sounds good. Recently there's been a lot of reports of fires down in the riverbed, and that is a very big concern for many, not only residents and people, but of course the fire department too. So what is the city doing about this, and can anything be done about that too? I know people are trying to stay warm, or they're using the fire down there in the riverbed, but we don't want anything to happen. So what can be done with that?
Yeah, so the recent fires in the river bottoms are happening for 3 reasons. Those are the camping warming fires that have gotten out of control. They are fires that are in close proximity to brush, or say there's environmental factors like wind. Okay. And then there's also arson. And so due to Martin versus Boise, like I just explained, we don't have the ability to remove individuals and get them in a safe place for the time being. Okay. And so our response is, and must continue to be, to come up with creative solutions to help mitigate the risk of those who are in the river bottoms, as well as our community at large. So I just recently built a partnership with the Lisa Ann Rush Byrne Foundation to work on educational components on fire prevention, fire safety, how to stay warm without a fire. And so we're going camp to camp to try to educate individuals and hoping that this will kind of stop the source of the fires and minimize what is going on within our river bottoms.
Okay. Many residents do continually voice concerns about the homeless in the community. They think it's getting worse. They think that there's too many. And when residents do say that, it may be a big concern for so many people out there. But what can we do? What can we as residents do for the homeless?
Yeah. So the city has something called the hand up, not a hand out philosophy.
Okay.
So what we always want to encourage individuals is to help link our homeless to services. So say somebody's panhandling and you want to give them that $1. Right. I actually have some service cards that you can download on our website. It's the City of Ventura Safe and Clean. And you can print those and hand those to the individuals. They link them to all of the services we have here in the city. And so that way you're actually getting them to make a connection to get out of homelessness rather than potentially perpetuating the problem by giving funds.
Okay.
We have everything on the website. So you can go and you can educate yourself and learn about all of our partners, all of our programs. And we also have tabs on how to volunteer for organizations, how to educate yourself, and also how to donate. So you have the ability to do all. And the last thing I have is frequently asked questions. So we do get those questions from the community time and time again. You can go on there, you can click on the question that you want to learn about. We have the answers there. And I also have a feature where you can submit a question. So those go straight to me, I will answer them. And if it's one that we think the community really wants to hear, we're going to highlight it on our social media efforts.
Very good. Okay, so repeat the website one more time for everybody. So in case they do want to get in touch with you or learn more about the Safe and Clean program, they will be able to do so.
Sure, it's cityofventura.ca.gov/safe and clean.
Very good. Thank you so much, Meredith Hart, Safe and Clean Program Manager for the City of Ventura. Keep up the great work. We want to see so many good changes coming about in the future.
Well, we're working on them. They're coming. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for joining us, everybody, and we'll see you next time on OurVentura TV.